I'm going down the path of home automation. By the way, did I tell you
No, what have you bought?
that? I bought a bunch of Hue lights and an Echo Plus.
Oh,
Yeah. I'm gonna start doing more home automation stuff, or writing about it more on Mac Stories. So I figured,
that'd be good.
yeah, I figured a good place to start would be with Hue lights and an Echo.
Mm.
I already had a Dot, but now I've got the Plus, and I haven't really I've had it for a week, and I still haven't really done anything other than plug it in and set it up.
Yeah.
But the Plus has a home automation hub in it, so I figured that might come in handy somehow. Even though the Hue lights already have their own bridge, and there's home, and then there's also obviously Siri and HomeKit and the Home app and all that too.
Mm.
So I don't know. I'm just feeling my way around it for now. I've got it set up now so that when I open the door to my basement, the lights come on automatically because I've got a little motion sensor.
Nice.
First wrinkle was, well, if I have that over by where the door is and I'm sitting in the other part of the room, the lights just go off after 15 minutes, which is no good. So, but you can set it up so it only turns things on, doesn't turn them off. So it's nice. So I open the door, turns on the lights, don't have to turn on the lights, go downstairs, work. What else have I done? Oh, and then the bulbs I got came with, one set of bulbs came with a little dimmer switch thing, which it just has little tape strips. You can put it on the wall, and it's perfect for the people in my life, which is the rest of my family, to be honest, who don't want to deal with controlling their lighting with an app or by voice. It has an on and an off button, and all you have to do is hit off, and it will shut off the lights. So instead of using the motion sensor to shut things off, I can just tap the button if I want.
Oh, nice. Yeah, that sounds really good.
Yeah, it works pretty well. I mean, it's, what it is. It's these it's these overhead can lights. We have a lot of these in our house. It's where they kind of are recessed into the ceiling.
Oh, yeah.
So they're kind of big bulbs. Those are in the ceiling, and then I have a floor lamp that sits next to my desk that also has a smaller one, and then a smaller light that goes up to the stairs up to the upstairs. So it's like 6 bulbs in all, and I don't know. They're just the white ones. They're not like the fancy colored ones.
Yeah, I mean those are fine, I guess.
They're fine for. I mean, I don't want to sit down here under a purple glow to do my work. Really. I don't really need disco lights while I'm writing. I just need light because it's a basement.
Well, I don't know. I think you need like a dim red light for your evil kind of basement layer that you're.
That's true.
I did it all day now.
It would be good. They are the ambient ones, which means that even though they don't have different colors, they have different temperatures. So you can do kind of bright light, or you can do more of a, it's like True Tone on your screen. It's you can make it kind of yellowy and that kind of thing. I should sit here right now and make my lights really bright, so I'm peppy for this show.
Yeah, the bright lights seem nice when you first do them. I actually ordered some of those for one of our rooms, and as soon as I put them in a turn, I went, "This is too bright." Like it was like a hospital.
Yeah, they have a setting called Energize, and that's exactly what it's like. It's super bright.
I ended up sitting down trying to work out if I could afford an iPhone 10 just so I can do Animoji karaoke. This has just been everything this week for me. I've basically been catching up every morning and seeing what new ones people have done.
I know, it's pretty amazing. There's a guy I saw on Twitter who's working on an app to facilitate stringing the clips together so you can do more than 10-second clips or something, like an iPhone app or something.
Yeah, I saw there's a few like private APIs that you can use to kind of get access to the Animoji.
Yep.
And I think they'd got up to maybe 60 seconds or 2 minutes or something they can record now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's definitely a GitHub project, because I know Federico linked to it yesterday on Mac Stories, and I downloaded the project just in case Apple went after them or something.
Yeah,
figured I'd play around with it at some point.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of crazy for I've just bought the 8 Plus. I'm not actually going to go and spend £1,000 on a phone.
Yeah, just to do animated.
Because I'm not getting all the songs that I want. There are lots of songs that I want to see people do. But it's only been a few days, so.
Did you see Grays when CGP Grays?
I did.
It was pretty good.
That was something. He really went to town on that.
It was very gray too.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I just I love the idea of him sitting there doing those, like
Yeah.
actually, recording the face. That was so strange.
Right.
Just to think about that.
Oh man, yeah, you shouldn't go out and spend £1,000 just for doing Animoji karaoke. I agree. I do like the phone a lot. I mean, mine came. It was interesting. Mine was originally scheduled to come November 17th through 24th. I had a hell of a time getting into the app the night of. So when this came out on, what was it, 2 Fridays ago? I was probably right after we last recorded, right?
Uh, yeah. Well, it came out on the 2nd, so as we're recording, it was 5-6 days ago.
Yeah. So that night was also the night that Super Mario Odyssey came out.
It was.
So I got up at midnight, played 2 hours of Super Mario Odyssey, and then ordered my phone.
I mean that seemed like a solid plan.
It was a Power Friday, but I was very disappointed to find that it took me 10 minutes to get into the store. So my phone wasn't scheduled to show up until between the 17th and the 24th by the time I finally ordered it. Yet, it still just came this week. It came on Monday, after all. So I was only a few days later than the first day people.
Yeah, it certainly sounds, from everything I've heard, it sounds like Apple were fairly conservative with delivery dates, but actually they've managed to get them out pretty quickly, and a lot of people are having their dates bumped up and stuff like that.
Yeah, it was really confusing because you know how you can, at least in the US, you can track an Apple shipment either in the deliveries app. You can do it either using the Apple order number or you can use the UPS number once you have one. And I was tracking both. When I looked at the Apple one, at first it looked like it might come even earlier because what it was tracking was not the phone itself. It was tracking the return box for my old phone.
Right.
Because I do the upgrade program. So that came on Saturday. It's always, it's bad enough that you always get your dongles and your cases before what you really want shows up at your house. I got a cardboard box containing a cardboard box.
Brilliant.
Yeah, that's what I got in the mail on Saturday, and then the actual phone showed up on Monday. But so I was tracking on Apple, which wasn't super helpful, and on top of the fact that they were primarily tracking my cardboard box, it also said delayed next to the shipment, which made me a little nervous. But UPS had it right, and on Friday it made its way from China to Korea, and by I think it was Saturday morning it was in Alaska. And then sometime on Sunday, it was in Kentucky and finally showed up in the Chicago area. I think it was Sunday night or early Monday morning and was at my house by lunchtime.
Yeah, it sounds like you've got pretty lucky. I don't think, you're literally talking basically one working day from the actual launch day.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it was pretty
to
good.
Get it. So,
Yep. And it's, you know what? It's pretty amazing. I have the space gray one. And the steel band around the edges is the same color as the glass on the back. So it really is the first iPhone that really feels like when it's off, it's just almost like a smooth black slab, other than, of course, the camera bump.
Of course.
But for the most part, I mean, it's the fit and finish is so tight that it's really just like this heavy, dense black slab, and then when you pick it up, it lights up and magically opens up with your, with Face ID. So it's, I don't know, that's pretty cool. The colors are really vivid, and the sharpness of it. It's so the OLED is so close under the glass that it feels like the icons really are even more on this surface than they have been in the past. And everything is just super smooth. And colors pop really well, and the gestures are pretty neat. I like the new gestures.
Yeah, I went down to Curry's, which is like a Best Buy kind of place. And they had an iPhone 10 there. Admittedly, it was clamped down and had a big bit of wire coming out the back of it, so I couldn't really get a good grip on it. But I was able to kind of play around with it a little bit. And yeah, like you say, the gestures actually. I kind of was only there for a couple of minutes, but I was already fairly used to doing multitasking and going back to the home screen and that kind of stuff. So yeah, I mean, as I say, as much as I joke that, I was thinking about getting one this year, I'm quite happy to wait a year. But I'm looking forward to getting that phone next year.
There is no doubt it takes some getting used to. I think the thing that I realized that I was doing without knowing I was doing it was that in the past I was unlocking my phone with my finger without necessarily really paying attention to the screen yet. You know what I mean? Like whether I was just kind of holding it in my hand or pulling it out of my pocket or whatever, I would do it that way. And you do have to have it your eyes looking at the phone in order for it to work. And one thing I have turned off is the notifications can be private until it recognizes your face. And that started driving me a little bananas because, I get a fair number of notifications throughout the day. And usually if it's my phone's just sitting on a table or something, I can glance over at it and kind of see what it's about without any trouble. But you can't really do that with Face ID. When it's on a table, you have to have your head right over the phone, or you have to pick it up and look at it to make the details of the notifications show. And I don't really, I don't have notifications that are so crazy private that I really care about that. So I shut that one off.
Yeah, that's understandable. And I think, a lot of that will hopefully, get better. Maybe they'll be able to, do Face ID at better angles or closer angles so you can just kind of look at the phone. But yeah, by all accounts, it sounds really nice. Did you do the auto setup where you put it next to your old phone?
I did. It was really cool. So I was going to, for the first time in a long time, do a migration from a backup. I didn't end up doing that, but I did log into iCloud and get all that stuff set up using the put the phone nearby. And it works very much like the Apple Watch, where it does that little cloud of pixels type of thing. And you take your phone and you hold it over the cloud of pixels, and it recognizes it, and then it just does the setup. And it takes a few minutes, but not very long at all. And then you just go from there. And the reason I didn't end up migrating from a backup was that I was on the 11.2 beta, and my phone arrived with, I think it was 11.0.1. So I would have had to have taken my old phone and put it back to 11 before, and then do another backup before I could migrate it over. And it's just like, oh, screw it, and I'll just start fresh. So I have been starting fresh, which is fine, except that, it takes an extraordinary amount of time to log into everything that you use.
Yeah, I think that's normally the biggest problem, like go into an app, jump back to one password and get all that done. But
yeah,
I mean, the reason I kind of brought up the auto setup is because I ended up buying an Apple TV 4K at the weekend for various reasons. I gave my Fire TV box to a friend who was down here visiting, so I went out and got the 4K TV. And yeah, but I'd be like you, I kind of just said, oh, put your phone next to the TV, and I hadn't had this before because I guess this is a relatively new feature. But I put the phone there. It took all the Wi-Fi passwords and iCloud and all of that kind of stuff, and it was just kind of set up within a few seconds.
Yeah, it's really nice, and they've had that for I don't know, maybe that came with the Apple TV 4, maybe I want to say, but I don't think I've ever used it myself. Maybe once. But it's a nice setup feature. I think that's the first device that ever had anything like that. And then it showed up on the watch, and now it's on the iPhone 10. How do you like the new Apple TV with the 4K? I think it's basically the same except for the 4K, right?
Yeah, I haven't watched anything 4K on it yet, or HDR. And I mean, I get the only difference, I guess, is the remote with the little ring, and it's slightly raised up on the remote, but I don't really care. I didn't dislike the remote that much anyway.
Right. Yeah, I'm a big fan of the Apple TV still. I'm still, I meant to do it on Monday. I've been meaning to do a count of how many days it's been since they announced that Prime Video was coming to the Apple TV, because that was at the September 19th keynote. So we're basically 60 days into that now, almost. We're almost at mid-November, and it's ridiculous to me that they don't have that. I mean, Amazon's been announcing all sorts of other things in the meantime. They ought to just get that Apple TV thing out the door.
Yeah, I mean, I think I've said on the podcast or definitely privately to you that that's what I was actually waiting for. I wasn't going to buy the Apple TV 4K until Amazon Video came out, or Prime Video came out. As I say, I kind of forced my hand because I gave my Fire TV box to somebody else, but I was waiting for that. And as you say, it's been quite a long time since that's come out, and we're pushing quite close to the holiday period now.
Yeah, it's interesting to me that it's taken this long. I mean, I don't care that much. There's not a ton on Prime Video that I would necessarily watch, but and I do have a Roku and I can use that. I just want it all in one box. I mean, I just want to have the lazy convenience of turning on my Apple TV and having everything that I watch in one place. Because right now that's where Netflix is, and I subscribe to Hulu, and then I've got whatever else that I kind of renting movies and that sort of thing. I just want to have Amazon Prime Video on there as an option so I can scroll through that and see what's on. I might discover something I like.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, my TV has Amazon Prime built in the smart feature. I say smart in quotes because it's not that good. But it has it built in. But as you say, you kind of just want it all there in one place. It's a lot easier to look then. I tend to find myself using my phone and just jumping into like Netflix and Prime Video just to see what's available, and then I go to the TV.
Right. So, Rob, we got a very important tweet. I guess it was, 3 or 4 days ago from, who was it from again?
That was from Ali.
I thought it was from
Ali. Somebody I used to work with.
Yeah, Ali
he
told
sent
us,
this to us.
He said that there's a scandal in Portsmouth. There's a biscuit lover who is stunned to find plain digestive in his milk chocolate pack.
Yeah, I don't even know why this was run as a story. It's also filed under business.
I know. There's a lot to unpack here, as they say. First of all, as I pointed out to Ali, if I was the guy in this article, I'd prefer that the headline be "Lover of Biscuits Stunned," not "Biscuit Lover." But
yeah.
Anyway, he's a biscuit lover. So the biscuit.
I mean, if I can quote from the story,
you should tell everybody what this is all about. The picture is worth 1,000 words too, and should go in the show notes.
Yeah, I mean, it's got the classic local person pointing at the thing they're angry about. So it's this gentleman pointing at what looks to be his plain biscuit that he's found in his chocolate biscuits. And he's quoted as saying, "I was quite surprised. It's the last thing you expect to see." I mean, I can't tell if this is a joke. I mean, he said he's dumbfounded. He sent McVitie's an email.
Yes. Yes, we're talking about McVitie's milk chocolate biscuits, and he bought a package of biscuits. And as he was poking around in them, eating an entire package, as it seems from the article, he found one with no chocolate on the outside.
Yeah.
And I think it's also kind of funny that the guy's a charity worker, to be honest.
There's something about the context of this article. It's really funny.
There's something about someone whose whole job is to be charitable, pointing with a very angry face at a package of biscuits because he didn't get his chocolate.
Yeah, it's he said, "I'm definitely hasn't put me off buying biscuits. I can't imagine it would."
Yeah, let's see. Where did he buy these biscuits? Near Titchfield Common, it looks like.
Yeah. It doesn't actually say what. It just says from a shop near his house. So it doesn't specify which retailer it was. So no, John, I don't know if it was Tesco, and I don't know if he got a plastic bag.
Well, you beat me to that one. So there's a lot more quote worthy here that you missed. There's the part where he says to the reporter, "I wondered if it was a Willy Wonka kind of thing, and I'd won a tour of the McVitie's factory." James said he had heard about previous cases where rogue biscuits had been found in packets. So this guy, he's right on top of the rogue biscuit phenomenon, and hoped that he had won a prize when in fact all he got was a plain biscuit.
Yeah, I mean, he's really taken this. This guy knows a lot about biscuits.
Well, and he goes on. He goes, "I actually saw a program about this last week where they showed how much vetting is done." on the biscuits. This was a program about how carefully they scrutinize the assembly line of biscuits to make sure that every one of them has chocolate on the outside. If it's in fact headed for a chocolate pack, that's the confusing thing. This is obviously a plant that makes both the chocolate and the plain, and there ought to be accountability for this sort of thing.
I mean, we do take biscuits very seriously in the UK.
Yes. What else does he go? He goes on. He says about, I forgot the part of, oh, yes. Let's see. I said that the brand is definitely up there with my favorites. I still eat a digestive at my mom and dad's. Oh, okay. So, I mean, after all this, he's still not put off from buying biscuits. He's still going to do it. And the last part is the reporter doing what every reporter should do, checked with the company, and the spokeswoman for the company confirmed that they had received a complaint from James about his biscuits.
I mean, he's right about the brand being one of his favorites. Like the McVitie's are very good biscuits.
Okay.
I don't think one rogue biscuit is going to cause too much of a problem, but yeah, I mean, this is in the local Portsmouth news. I mean, they're taking this pretty seriously.
They are, and they have a nice close up of a plain biscuit.
Just in case you don't know what they're talking about,
it's pretty low resolution. It looks like somebody zoomed in on this a little bit. There's a lot of pixelation going on in the edges of this biscuit.
Yeah, the best. I kind of want to know what the chain of event was from him finding the plain biscuit to this ending up in the news.
Yeah,
he's obviously gone out of his way to tell them about this.
He didn't get satisfaction from the company, so he went straight to the local newspaper, I guess.
Well, I mean, that's the way to do it.
Yeah, I really admire this guy. I'm going to have to do this myself. I'm going to have to claim that I found a plain chocolate cookie in a package and see if I can get myself in the news. Because we know
I'm going to stop you. I'm going to have to stop you there. It's not a cookie. It's completely different. But we probably shouldn't get into that now. I just wanted it on the record that I have told you it's not a cookie.
I know. There are going to be a lot of unhappy people, and I kind of did that on purpose. I'm sorry, Rob.
No, it's fine.
I know that
to say it.
I know that
the tweets and the emails.
I know there's a difference. All right. Well, no, so I think that's all we have to say about poor James. He's 32. Yeah. He's 32 years old. He's eating chocolate biscuits, and he's angry.
Yeah. We haven't done one of those in a while. That was fun.
Yeah, well, thank you, Allie, because Allie, he came through for us. I have to say that I'm not scouring your local news website every day looking for this kind of thing, but I may have to bookmark this.
That's yeah. I mean, that's not the first one that Ali sent us either. He's ever vigilant looking for the local news stories.
Right. Oh man. So, all right. Before we go today, I want to know: have you been playing a lot of Mario Odyssey?
I have.
Yeah,
a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've finished the main story.
Oh, nice.
There won't be any spoilers, so don't worry about that.
All right, good. I listened to Remaster, and I had to stop because I didn't want to get the spoilers at the end of the show.
Yeah, I didn't listen to that either because I didn't want to spoil anything that's like past the end of the main story.
Right.
Like most Mario games, you finish the story, but then there's actually a lot more after that. So yeah, like right now, I'm just kind of working my way through collecting all the moons, getting all the purple coins, buying all the ridiculous outfits that you can buy. Some of which I got from the amiibo, which I'm blaming you for me buying.
I bought them, and then I told my wife that they were for my son for his birthday.
Brilliant. I didn't have that excuse. I just had to say that they were for me, but I blamed it on you.
It worked well because I can use them now too.
Yeah. But yeah, and this is just such a great game. In terms of, even if it wasn't Mario, just an example of a really great platformer.
Right. Oh yeah, it's an amazing game. I mean, it's difficult, but it's not frustrating. If you know what I mean. Yeah. If you get stuck somewhere, it's not that big a deal. You can just kind of say, I'll come back to this some other time. You leave and you go do something else because each of the kingdoms are pretty vast. There's a lot going on. There's a million different moons to collect, and I found myself doing a little bit of what I was doing with Zelda Breath of the Wild, which was just wandering around, collecting things and seeing what was going on and not really like pushing myself through the story and from level to level, collecting just enough moons to get to the next kingdom. I spent a ton of time in the Sand Kingdom just wandering around until I finally got a little bored of it and moved on to the lake one.
Yeah, the Sand Kingdom is a really fun one, actually. I've actually just got back to there, the first time since I finished the main story to go off and collect the rest of the moons and coins and stuff. So
yeah, and on the way,
yeah, it seems really good. Like there's a lot of, you don't finish the story and then it doesn't feel like a grind to go and get all the rest of the moons, because everything's still kind of fun and you've got all the little puzzles and whether it's the side scrolling stuff or whatever it is they offer up to you to get the moons.
Yeah, I really like the side scrolling thing. I think that's brilliant. I mean, it's just very well done. There's a lot of detail there, and it's neat how it's kind of incorporated into it's 2D in the 3D world. They're a lot of fun, and they're a nice break from kind of the regular hunting for things in the 3D world.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think it's going to be. I imagine I'm going to be playing this for quite a while. I seem to be finding the moons fairly quickly. I think I've cleared like 2 worlds now, but there's a fair few more than that, and obviously the challenges do get harder as you go through advance through the levels. So, but right. Yeah, I'm really impressed with this game. It's just so polished. Like I haven't had any bugs or glitches or anything like that yet, which I would kind of expect just because of the sheer size of the game, but I haven't had any problems at all.
Yeah, neither have I. Have you tried 2-player mode yet? It's really fun.
No, I haven't. I haven't really had occasion to try that.
It makes the game a lot easier just because one person controls Mario and the other one controls Cappy. So you can just kind of have one person focusing on one, like the jumping, and one person focusing on throwing the cap to do whatever. So it's easier, but it's also kind of fun.
Yeah, as I say, I haven't actually played with 2 people. I got a second controller just to see what the mechanics of it were like. But I've just been playing by myself. So, but yeah, I just to say I'm really enjoying it.
And one of the best things about the Sand Kingdom is I exited the Sand Kingdom as Mario wearing nothing but a sombrero and some boxer shorts.
Oh, you kind of have to buy the boxer shorts as soon as you can.
Yeah, I did. I bought as much as I possibly. I spent a lot of time in that kingdom, so I bought a lot of outfits and things when I went there.
Yeah, cool. Unless there was anything else you wanted to add to that, I think we're probably done for this week.
Yeah, no, I don't think so. I think that was a good one. There's a lot going on right now, and we can save. We can talk about 280 character tweets some other time, maybe.
Yeah, let's save that for another time when I've had a week or 2 to test them out.
All right.
Awesome. Well, I'll speak to you soon.
Okay. Bye-bye.